Rangers finishing up the regular season portion of their schedule this week and getting primed for the real deal. The postseason straight ahead. Tonight, the Rangers take on Seattle, trying to shake off the effects of a 7-5 loss last night. We welcome you to Texas Ranger Baseball. Along with Tom Grieve, I'm Josh Lewin. The Rangers did come close last night. That's thanks to Nelson Cruz with a home run. He got the Rangers within a run.
Yeah, you know, Nelson Cruz has been a huge part of the Ranger offense. Unfortunately, he's been on the disabled list several times, but he's healthy right now, and headed into postseason play, the Rangers need him in the middle of the lineup. They were down by 4 until Nelly hit this 3-run home run last night, got them to within 1. They couldn't get any closer than that, but Nelly's numbers on the season per at bat are as good as anybody's in baseball.
A full injury-free season of Nelly would have been unbelievable. But you know what? Even with missing 56 games, the Rangers able to raise that AL West championship flag yesterday. The Rangers and Seattle playing ball when we come back. F-150. Check out the 2010 F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. It is another beautiful night for baseball. Hi, how are you? The Rangers right now at 87-69, feeling great about themselves. Scott Feldman is hoping to get that feel-good going as well. He lost his spot in the rotation about a couple of months ago. This was the opening day starter for the Texas Rangers. It was not supposed to be like this, where he's just kind of mopping up in a start. And he's hoping, begging, praying that he can find his way onto that postseason roster. If he can tune one up tonight, you never know. He's got to face Ichiro and then Figgins, a couple guys with 40-plus steals. Lopez and Gutierrez, former Ranger Justin Smoke had a home run last night. Matt Mangini and Adam Moore, then Michael Saunders, who's got a homer off of Feldman from earlier this year. And the right-hand hitting shortstop, Josh Wilson. little bit more on Scott Feldman for you.
Yeah, it just hasn't gone Scott's way this year. 5.45 ERA, an average opponent's batting average of over 300. He has pitched really well against Seattle. That's his second lowest ERA against any American League opponent, 2.92. And, you know, Scott's disappointed in his season. It hasn't gone the way he would have thought it would have gone. But if he could finish strong right here, have a nice start tonight, at least the season would end on a high note and give him something to look forward to going into spring training.
And there's the Geico quote. He's right. He can't control whether or not he's on that roster. He can control whether or not he goes out there and gives the team 8 or 9 solid innings tonight and makes them ponder what to do. 7 wins, 10 losses. And his last appearance was at couple innings he got in Thursday in Oakland while the Rangers were being one hit by Dallas Braden.
Yeah, and Scott last year won 17 games, so you know, as you look to next year, there's no reason why he can't bounce back and be that kind of a pitcher. Big leagues and teams are filled with guys who have had years like this and then bounced back and pitched like they're capable of pitching, and you know, that's what we're all rooting for with Scott. Good guy, he's worked hard. It's just been a disappointing year for him.
Ichiro knocks one into the crowd on an 82-degree Tuesday night here in Arlington. If you're in the area, this is the night where there are actually some seats available for you. Got a day game tomorrow. And the regular season will end with 4 against the Angels after that. If the Rangers win tonight, they'll assumably get done before the A's are playing tonight. They would be 10.5 games up at that point, Tom, and never in the 50-year history of this franchise, going back to the time spent in Washington, D.C. Not once in 50 years. So if we said they're more than 10 games above 500, they will have that chance tonight. Not above 500, more than 10 up on the second-place team.
Right.
Rangers have been between 7 and 10 games up on the A's for an incredible 64 days in a row. They can't get past 10. They can't get under 7. Left field and chased by David Murphy. It is foul again.
You really have to play Ichiro shallow in left and shading the line. David is probably closer to the left field foul line than he will be for any other hitter in the league. Everybody's pulled around. It doesn't mean that's always where he's going to hit it, but he hits it there a lot.
There he goes again. Hit number 206 for the year for Ichiro. 10 out of 10 years in the big leagues. He's got 200 hits. That's an American League record. Murphy with Borbon and Francoeur. Cantu, Blanco, Herman, and Moreland. A much different look in the infield, obviously, tonight. Benji Molina catching Scott Feldman. Figgins will take down and in. If Ichiro is running here, and sometimes Feldman does allow a stolen base or two, his next steal will tie Figgins for most on the team. Two guys with more than 40 steals. That's pretty good. But it has not helped the Mariners win many ball games. They are 60 and 96. Right now, that is the worst record in the American League. The Pirates have the worst record in the National League. 55 and 101. As for that Ranger record, 87 and 69. 6 games to go. 4 more wins, Tom. They'd end up with the best home winning percentage ever. 5 more wins. They will get Nolan Ryan's predicted total of 92. And that would be incredible. To look back and say Nolan had it from St. Patrick's Day.
Just be one more thing to add to the legend that Nolan's created.
A bunt from Figgins. Cantu will bare hand. Low throw gets his man, so Figgins moves Ichiro.
Unfortunately, Jorge was anticipating that possibility and was a little bit shallow at third base, which allowed him to get Figgins at first base on what would have been a base hit if he was back at all. That was a pretty good bunt. Ichiro's had 41 stolen bases, so for Figgins to sacrifice bunt him, that's given up and out for a guy that might have been able to steal second base anyway. But I don't think Figgins was sacrificing all the way right there. I think he's bunting for a base hit. This stage of the year, if you're Seattle and you're 60 and 96, I don't think you're going to be sacrifice bunting in the first inning.
Jose Lopez, the batter.
You may be bunting for a base hit, though, trying to add a couple of points to your batting average.
Well, and Figgins could use that. He's at 261 right now. Remember, he was above 300 last year for the Angels. That's why he got the big contract to come over.
So it's kind of a safe shot at getting a base hit. If you don't get the base hit, you get a sacrifice, and that doesn't count on your batting average. It's kind of like a free shot for a base hit.
Lopez takes a shot at the left field line and finds it. Ichiro stopping at third and tiptoeing into second base is Lopez.
Two of the cheaper hits you'll see in one inning. A little blooper, big swing, and a blooper down the left field line by Lopez, and a little jam shot sliced from the left field by Ichiro.
Too little, too late for Lopez. He had a 3 home run game about a week and a half ago and piling up some doubles since then. Yeah, it's a helpless feeling if you're David Murphy. Nothing you can do at all.
And Ichiro had to stay close because it was a shallow ball. If he goes halfway and David catches it, he'll get doubled off second base. That's why he couldn't score. You got a man on second base who didn't score on a double, but that's the reason why he had to stay close to second base.
That's funny if you take that out of context. Ichiro can't even score from second on a double. Thought he was a fast guy. Now, team speed is something the Mariners have. Team power, they really don't. They are last in the league in home runs. So they got a big one yesterday from the former Ranger Justin Smoke.
Well, as they look to next year and how can they improve and get more offense, there's a couple of ways from within that they can do that. Number one, Figgins can hit 300 like he normally does or near it, and that'll create on base percentage with Ichiro at the top of the lineup. And then the one guy in the lineup who, if he bounces back to what he's been the last couple of years, is Lopez. Lopez the last couple of years has averaged 22, 23 home runs, 84, 85, or 90 RBIs for that matter. 285. He's been way below that this year. So if those guys just return to form, that's a significant improvement right there.
To right field. Jumping back on it is Francoeur, makes the catch, and that's going to get a sac fly for a run for the Seattle Mariners. And Gutierrez yesterday and cashing in with one of those. Now has 62 runs batted in. That is a low total to be leading a team with just a few games to go. And it's funny, Tom, we look back at what the Mariners were supposed to be this year. And they were banking on RBI years from, wait for it, Ken Griffey Jr.
Unrealistic.
And now retired. And Milton Bradley, who ended up with 29.
Yeah, and the problem with Milton Bradley was the same problem he had here. He never could have had the year that he had here if he had to play the outfield every day. The way he stayed healthy was to DH. And with Griffey, he couldn't DH. He had to play the outfield. I just thought of another reason why Figgins might have been sacrificed bunting.
Okay.
I might have been a little off base saying he was bunting for a base hit because they've got Felix Hernandez pitching.
Play for one run. And
they may feel like you play for one run, and they may be thinking right along with you. If he doesn't win this game, he'll be under 500, and they may be looking at him as getting this win and trying to get the Cy Young Award for him. So well, that's another reason he might have been sacrificed.
And yeah, I mean, I'll put my marketing guy hat on. If you're the Mariners, I mean, there's one thing you can stick on your media guide for next year, no worries. It's Felix Hernandez posing with a Cy Young Award. Anything to get that, anything to avoid 100 losses right now.
And if you're the players, you know that this guy is probably the best pitcher in the league and that he deserves to win that award. And so if anything, they'll be sacrificing in any way they can today to try to make it possible for that to happen.
He's back behind there somewhere, embarrassed by all the attention. There's a strike to Justin Smoke. And the count 2-2. I think the Mariners, obviously, Tom, to a man, they must know that Felix Hernandez deserves much better than 12-12. Guy's got an ERA of about 2. Got him. Feldman striking out Smoke. Couple of soft hits, couple of sacrifices in there. The Mariners have a 1-0 lead. And now, King Felix when we come back. No Andrews, no Kinsler, no Young, no Guerrero, of course no Josh Hamilton. But remember the last time the Rangers ran out kind of a shot troops looking lineup, they had 16 runs on 22 hits in Oakland. It's Herman and Blanco, Murphy and Cruz, Francoeur, Moreland, Cantu, Molina and Bourbon against the King. And it's good to be the King. Felix Hernandez with that ERA of 2.31. Look at those last 9 starts, Tom. 0.94, but he's only won 5 of the 9.
He leads the league in starts. He leads the league in ERA. He leads the league in opponent's batting average. He leads the league in innings pitched. Second in strikeouts. The only thing he doesn't lead pitchers in is wins. If he doesn't win it, the one guy's name who I haven't seen mentioned that probably should be at the top of the list is John Lester from the Red Sox. He's won 19 games. Sabathia has won 20, but his ERA is better. His opponent's batting average is better. But there's a lot of candidates.
David Price should be a candidate. But yeah, you're hearing a lot of Felix versus CC right now.
Yeah, and everything with Felix is better except wins.
The full run per game better ERA-wise.
You can imagine what Felix would have done if he was pitching for the Yankees. Sabathia probably wouldn't be 12-12 if he was pitching for the Mariners.
Those are some big ifs, Tag, but
yeah. Well, the last time this kind of a lineup played was in Oakland, and one of the better pitchers in the league, Trevor Cahill, was on the mound, and that didn't bother the team very much.
Nope, Herman was part of the crew that got that done. Now, I guess a dirty little secret about Felix Hernandez, except for that last start that you referenced against the Rangers, where he almost no-hit him. Other than that, career against the Rangers, he's 8-12 with an ERA of about 4.5.
Well, he had 2 starts earlier in the year. One start he didn't get out of the 5th inning. One he was somewhere in the 6th inning, somewhere around 10 innings where he gave up 12 runs. The Rangers had 2 good starts against him in his first 3 against them this year. This will be the 6th start he's had against the Rangers. Haven't missed him yet.
Herman proving to be a pesky leadoff hitter. He's going to see an 8th pitch. Now Hernandez taking the no-hitter into the 8th inning last time. Then the Rangers got him for 3 hits, pretty much all in a row. 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and what a game. That is a well-earned walk by Esteban Herman.
Well, if I remember right, the last start in Seattle, he walked Elvis to lead off the
Yes, that's right.
Another good at bat.
Then he retired 21 in a row.
Got tougher after that. He's had the worst run support of any pitcher in the American League. Just about 3 runs per game.
Boy, since the All-Star break, he'd love to get 3 runs per game. It's been about a run and a half, it seems like. The bunt from Blanco, and it's a beaut. So, again, just like in the top of the first, you get the leadoff man on, bunt him over. Poor Kevin Millwood goes to Baltimore, and he's not getting any run support either, leading the league in losses. Although at least for Kevin, that's idled. It was 16 a month ago. It's still 16. David Murphy, 11 for his last 27. And with a push here, Tag, he's got a shot, outside shot, to be a 300 hitter. He'll have to be as hot this week as he was a couple of weeks ago.
Well, he's hit 355 in his last 22 games. And when Josh got hurt, it was David that stepped right in and kind of picked up where Josh had left off. Speaking of Josh, I don't know what the final result of the workouts were today, but watching him during batting practice, he was playing center field and running down balls in the outfield, and it looked like he had a significant improvement over the last couple of days, because he was running pretty well out in the outfield.
Murphy moves the runner, and yeah, if Josh can get the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, get 9 or 10 at bats, as a kind of a priming the pump for the postseason, that'd be great. Looking fine.
Yeah, I mean, there he's not, even in the workouts, shying away from the wall. Here he's catching a ball, missed that one because of the wall, and I don't blame him. But he was moving around pretty good out there. Probably wasn't winding up and throwing too hard, but that was another step in the right direction, it looked like. Hopefully, right now, he's feeling fine after that workout.
Strike to Nelson Cruz. Well, the Rangers have already proven that they can win without Josh. That's, pretty much been this whole September exercise for them. But if you had to choose with or without Josh going into New York or Tampa Bay, obviously you want Josh. Murphy would be quite the weapon off the bench. We still don't know yet. Will it be the Yankees or the Rays? Might not know that until Sunday night. That's fouled off of Adam Moore, the catcher.
There's that pitch we were talking about in the last game that looks like a splitter. Some people were saying it was his changeup. It's at least a 2-seam fastball, but it drops like very few 91-mile-an-hour pitches you'll see.
His last 2 starts, we're talking 16 innings and 5 hits allowed. Yeah, the 8 innings of 3-hit ball against the Rangers and 8 innings of 2-hit ball against Toronto. But one of those Jose Bautista home runs beat him 1-0.
Look at that ball go straight down like that. It's hard to imagine that it went 91 miles an hour. Looked like a pitch that might have gone 79 miles an hour to have that kind of movement.
It came up with some pretty good velocity, too, according to Adam Moore in his gentle areas. You guys try not to smirk or laugh when that happens, because, I mean, it's not, it's not nice.
I don't know. I never did. I just imagined myself being the catcher, and I wouldn't certainly feel like laughing.
It's one of those things where, you know, it could be, I don't want to say funny, but as long as it doesn't happen to you. What's the old Mel Brooks line? The difference between comedy and tragedy? Tragedy is if I cut my finger because it hurts. Comedy is if you walk into an open sore and die, because what do I care? A little dark, but Felix Hernandez was out there just kind of yucking it up while all that was going on. Got him. Boy, Felix Hernandez, if you didn't know it, just watch it and you'll recognize that is Cy Young caliber stuff, no doubt. 1-0 at the end of one.
Hello, Josh and Tom, Community Corner. Tonight we have Lakendra Thomas. She is with KIPP Truth Academy. And tell us a little bit about your organization.
Hello, KIPP Truth Academy is a middle school in the Dallas area, and we're here to serve students in grades 5th through 8th. Our mission is to serve students who have been traditionally underserved with the knowledge, skills, and character traits necessary to succeed in top quality high schools, colleges, and the competitive world. If you would like to know more about us, you can visit us at kipptruth.org, and you can join us for breakfast on October 21st.
Oh, the breakfast sounds great. Well, all right. Well, thank you, Lakendra. And you guys having a good time, huh? There we go. All right. Very nice. Thank you. Well done. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Jim. It'll be weird having broadcasts here in October. You'll see him on TBS, and there will be no screaming with Jim Knox. Assumably.
It'll be the same.
Everybody will be having a good time. But I don't think that on the playoff TBS broadcasts they're going to go into the crowd and solicit screaming.
Maybe they ought to revisit their strategy.
Yeah, our numbers are the ones that are way up. The 3-1 to Mangini is outside. So the leadoff walk here in the second inning. Again, for Scott Feldman tonight, it's all about just looking as sharp as possible. Try to make an impression and see if there might be room for him here to go to the postseason beyond that active roster. Brings up the Longview-born Mineola-raised Adam Moore. Got a native Texan for a manager here, too, now. The interim manager. That's Darren Brown from Amarillo. They say goodbye to one of the real good guys in any sport, Don Wakamatsu, who still lives here in the Metroplex. What a great family man is Don Wakamatsu, a very intelligent baseball guy. But the Mariners felt it was just time to make a change, and this is a great baseball guy, too, they've got here in Darren Brown. I guess that would have been the rough equivalent tag as if something would have happened here and Bobby Jones would have gotten the opportunity to come up and see what it's all about.
Well, Bobby Jones has managed almost every Ranger, homegrown Ranger that's come through the system. So under those circumstances, he would have been a great choice. Bobby's going to be going with the team when they go into the first round of the playoffs. And I'm sure all the guys he played for will be glad to have him around, as well as all the rest of us.
Knocked down by Benji Molina.
Almost as many people to thank today as yesterday, Josh.
Is that right?
Yeah, quite a variety today.
We'll hope for a long game then.
We'll kind of sneak them in there.
Infield hangs a double play depth. The 2-2 to Moore is just a little bit inside. Mangini not really known for his speed. We'll see if they do start him in an effort to stay out of a potential double play. Michael Saunders on deck. He had a 3-run homer against Feldman a couple of months ago. At some point, Feldman will have to choose a pitch to throw here. There goes the runner. And he probably shouldn't have been doing that. It's going to be a double play. And Blanco.
Not much Mangini could do. He was running. Although he wasn't safely secured on second base.
No.
He had to get back to first. And what Blanco did was he said, rather than risk throwing the ball over the first baseman's head to double him up, I'm just going to make sure I walk over and tag him. And if he runs away from me, then I'm going to toss the ball to my buddy Vermont and let him tag him.
That's a weird one because normally you just see the throw go across the first base on that when a guy's doubled up. But
it almost looked like Mangini thought he was going to be safe if he stayed right on second base.
Hey, strike to Saunders. Again, the Mariners, it's a modest goal right now, but they're trying not to lose 100. They've got to win 3. That would make them 63-99 if they went 3-3 rest of the way.
Who knows? Maybe that's another reason that Figgins was bunting in the first inning to try to get a run. Try to keep from losing 100 games. That's a significant reason.
Just cosmetics. I mean, there's not that big of a difference really between 99 and 100, but people do tend to look at that 3-digit number and go, wow, that's an awful season.
Well, there's definitely a label for losing 100 games. No one says they lost 99 games, they lost 96 games, but if you lose 100, you're known as a team that lost 100 games.
It's a tough one to get.
It's only one game, but it does seem to matter.
And a lot of foul balls right near home plate. That's probably a good sign for Scott Feldman when that cutter is working. Get a lot of baseballs that just kind of hit down near home plate. In there. Saunders down on strikes. And when we come back, Tom Grieve will be thinking about 27 different people.
No, only about 7.
7 different people for sending goodies. 1-0. Seattle are scored. Early. Join the pregame Claw and Antlers parade. Get to the third base ramp by 1. Bring your Claw, bring your Antlers. And we'll see you out there. And then the Rangers play the Angels at 2. Jeff Rancourt is out. Mitch Moreland coming up.
One of the people I want to thank Bruce and Sharon Bryson. They sent me a Thanks a Million keychain that the Rangers gave out in 1976.
Really?
That's how far we've come. Back then, you got keychains if you drew 1 million people. And they wanted me to say hi to their 80-year-old mother from Corsicana. Her name is Joy Bryson. So thank you very much for the Thanks a Million keychain. At the end of it, it's broken. I don't have the chain itself. I just have the medallion at the end.
Bicentennial Rangers keychain. Very cool.
Pretty nice. And you remember, well, you don't remember, but you're not that old. You go back to the early days of the Rangers, and drawing 1 million people was just kind of a pipe dream.
Backhand pickup, nicely done. Mitch Moreland is out.
We were hoping to get 1 million people after the first 2 years here.
Well, yeah, and that is a great point, Tom. I mean, there was all the pomp and circumstance about the team having moved here from D.C. And the first year, 662,000 was the total. The Rangers
I thought it was less than that.
Rangers are going to come up to around 2.5 million this year, and that's been reasonably par for the course all through pretty much since about 96, really, when they started winning. But yeah, you're right. The first 2 years they drew in the 600,000s.
That's like what, 8,000 a game, 9,000, 8,000 or 9,000 a game.
That would be,
that's not good.
Yeah, it'd be about 8,200 a game. If you announced a crowd of 8,200 here at some point, there would be columns just shredding everybody.
Yeah, just like they're shredding Tampa Bay.
Some of the players are starting to shred Tampa Bay now too. Evan Longoria came out and said, "Where are our fans?"
I don't blame him. It's something it's a hard argument to win for a player. It sounds like you're griping, but at the same time, to draw, what did they draw yesterday? 12 or 13,000, something like that.
They're a half a game ahead of the Yankees, and it's going down to the wire, and
ridiculous.
I know there are early bird specials to compete with and everything, but it is too bad. It's a very exciting team. And there are some passionate baseball fans down there. There's just not enough of them that want to come all the way across the bridge into St. Pete. The Rangers could well be seeing a little bit of the Tampa-St. Pete area about this time next week. Cancer with a ground ball to short. King Felix is at it again. He no-hit the Rangers through 7 last time out. This time it's only through 2, but he's looking pretty good. By Geico, where 15 minutes can save you 15% on car insurance. And by AT TEX, rethink possible. 1-0 Seattle tonight. And 1 seems like a much larger number because of who's on the mound for them. Felix Hernandez trying to get in position for a possible Cy Young.
There's a hat we haven't seen this year.
No, it's all about the antlers. If you got some speed, you run like a deer. That means you got to represent with the antlers. We learned that one from Nelson Cruz through Esteban Herman. That's the pipeline. Now, of course, the whole Metroplex is doing it, but it was last year, actually, that Esteban Herman came up with that and kind of handed it off to Nelson Cruz when Esteban didn't make the team out of spring training this year. Look out. Moreland in front of Molina. Molina saying, if nothing else, let's do it alphabetically next time. That's my ball.
Laz Diaz is saying, man, you played a long time. You can't catch those little pop-ups like that?
Laz is one of the most talkative umpires back there. Always has been.
And Benji's got it under control.
Look at Benji.
Said, I need an assist. I'm going to catch this one. Put out, I mean.
Benji's like, hey.
But, you know, young first baseman, and you saw Justin Smoke have that same situation a couple of times when he was here. You're told if it's a pop-up and you can catch it, go after it. It's an easier play coming in than it is for a catcher when the ball's coming straight down. You're just trying to be aggressive and make that kind of a play. You're talking about the antlers. We got a nice box of vanilla sea salt caramels from Charlotte Perry from Garland, Texas, and she says, antlers to you and Josh and the team for a great season. So well, also a salute now.
Again, we thank Esteban Herman for the whole new vernacular here.
You should have copywritten it.
If Esteban Herman only knew. Ichiro, a wave and a miss. You're right. I mean, with all the Claw and the Antlers shirts now and everybody, you know, there's a song called Do the Claw. The marketing rights should have gone through Esteban Herman. Ichiro, a terrible looking swing. This is a guy with 206 hits now this year, and we talked about this earlier. Only Pete Rose has had 10 200-hit seasons. Pete Rose played for 26 years. Ichiro's been over here for 10 years, and he's 10 for 10. And Ichiro figures to be playing another at least 5 years. He's in great shape. Could probably be DHing, right? Paul Molitor was DHing at 42. Why not Ichiro?
Scott's had a good curveball today. Seen several swings and misses, and that was a little pop-up on a good curveball that he kept down.
2 away in the inning brings up Figgins.
He's really been throwing the ball pretty well. He had a couple of hits in the first inning and a run, but neither hit was hit very hard. Little bloop double was the key hit by Lopez. But other than that, Scott's throwing the ball pretty well through 2 2/3.
Figgins, ground ball, and this one is appropriate for Moreland to take. Nice job by Scott Feldman. We'll play the bottom of the third. It's still 1-0. Rangers Red Rally, hosted by the Arlington Convention and Visitors Bureau, 11:30 to 1. Right at the home plate gate here at the ballpark. It's free. It's open to the public. Wear some red. Support the team. Nolan Ryan will speak. Chuck Greenberg will speak. John Daniels and Ron Washington. You can be the first to buy and wear your AL West Division champion T-shirt. There's Molina spoiling the no-hit bid for Felix Hernandez. And Benji had been 0 for 12 lifetime against the Kings. So that works out pretty well.
Hey, jumped on a curveball that stayed up, waited on it nicely, drove it right into right field. Pitch away on the outside part of the plate, outside half of the plate. I want to thank Ken and Kathy Ladd. They're from Bedford, Texas. Kathy sent up a huge box of cake balls. I don't know if you've tried one of them yet.
I have sampled the cake balls.
A lot of people that have are pretty excited about that. Thank you, Kathy. Also, a great batch of monster cookies have M&Ms in them from the Swarsky family. Thank you to the Swarskys.
From the super fans?
Are they super fans?
The Swarskys?
And our friend from Manchester, New Jersey is Maria Colon. She's been a Ranger fan for, I think, as long as I've been a Ranger.
Corbeau and a chopper. Trying to beat this thing out. And he will, but Molina won't. They have plenty of time to get Benji.
And you know what Maria sent us?
I do not.
Just for you, 2 big boxes of jujubes.
Oh, was that where we got those from?
Yeah, you talked about the jujubes. So
I love those.
She sent those.
I'll start talking about Raisinets. Get some of those too.
Oh boy, here we go. Be Raisinets next time.
No, we're running out of regular season here, Tag. So.
And the last thing we just got was a huge batch of delicious frozen custard. John Woolley and Brett Allen from Fort Worth sent that over to us again. Thank you very much, John Woolley. So a good night. Great assortment of goodies tonight.
From cake balls to jujubes. There's a sentence I've never said before.
And we still have a nice plate of barbecue left from MR Pigs. We're now affectionately referred to by them as the Little Piglets.
Yeah. Herman socks one in the left. Out number 2. Chance for Andres Blanco next, with Elvis Andrus sitting tonight. The last time that Blanco played, it went very well. Tied a career high with 3 hits, 3 runs. Seven to 5 was the final yesterday. The Ranger rally falling short. And I don't know if you have a concern at all, Tom. I don't really, but I'm sure some Ranger fans would see C.J. Wilson's September ERA in the 6s and see that as at least a yellow light heading into the playoffs. But he'll have another chance to tune up before the Game 2 start.
No, you know, every pitcher throughout the course of the season will have some stretches where it doesn't go well. C.J. had a little stretch like that earlier in the season. But I think it all starts over again once you get to postseason play. And yesterday was a tune-up. CJ's out there battling, doing whatever he can to win the game. It didn't work out, but
a steal for Bourbon.
I don't have a concern. I think CJ will be fine. In fact, I know he will. He has to be. There's no choice. 14 stolen bases for Julio. That was a good opportunity for him to go right there. It was a tough pitch for Adam Moore to try to throw. It was inside. He's got to kind of throw it around and over the hitter. Just couldn't get anything on that throw.
And a chance now to tie the game if you get a base hit from Blanco. Back to yesterday, CJ really kind of undone with that one pitch that he elevated to Justin Smoke, that 3-run homer with 2 out. And CJ channeled his inner Ricky Henderson after. He told the media it wasn't a very CJ pitch.
Well, normally you get CJ 5 runs, and that's going to be a win for the Rangers.
Absolutely. No, I'm with you. I'm not worried about CJ at all. It's been a great year. 3 balls, 1 strike to Blanco. Well, the Rangers now 11-6 against Seattle this year with that loss last night. Blanco takes a walk, and up comes Murphy. So already 2 walks for Felix Hernandez.
They're pitching carefully to Blanco right there. Must have read the scouting reports. This kid's hot. Blanco came into the game hitting .286. And Blanco got a pretty good opportunity this year when Ian was hurt for about, maybe 2 or 3 weeks to play every day. Into that series he had in Kansas City where he hit the ball really well and longer than that. Not just little singles either. He was driving some balls into the gaps, too.
Murphy 11 for his last 27. We'll take outside. Again, this extended run that he's had, subbing in for Josh Hamilton. Josh missing his 24th consecutive game tonight. But again, the hope remains that he'll be playing by the weekend. You know what's nice, Tag, is that Josh could come back and theoretically go 0 for 10, still win that batting title. To be the 3rd Ranger to win a batting title. Batting average right now at .361. Joe Mauer next at .331. Miguel Cabrera at .328. And it looks like Miguel Cabrera's done for the year, by the way. He hurt his ankle yesterday. So it looks like the final numbers for Cabrera will be .328 batting average, 38 homers, 126 runs batted in. Whether or not that's enough to win the MVP, I guess we'll find out, because the Rangers obviously will stump for Josh Hamilton. Swinging 3-0 is David Murphy. Gets it done. The Rangers score against Felix Hernandez. Only the second 3-0 swing all year for David Murphy. And it's an RBI to tie it up.
A stolen base kind of set it all up. A walk to Blanco, and a pretty tough pitch. It's actually 3-0. It's really not that good a pitch to swing at, 3-0, and I think sometimes that's why guys don't swing 3-0. You get the sign and you feel, okay, 3-0, I'm swinging. Worked out okay, but it was a tailing fastball, a little bit out of the strike zone. Not a really good pitch that you want to look for 3-0 to drive. But tomorrow in the box score, it's going to be a line drive single and an RBI, and that's what counts.
Nelly Cruz, the guy much more likely to be swinging 3-0. He's up 1-0 right now with 2 on. Now it all started with the base hit from Benji Molina. And Felix Hernandez has already given up as many hits tonight as he gave up in that last start that he had against Toronto, the complete game. By the way, the Yankees are beating Toronto tonight 3-1. Tampa Bay over Baltimore 5-0. Those teams separated by half a game in the East. Rip and a miss, 2-2. Boy, everything moves that he throws.
He gets such good sinking and tailing action on his fastball. Combine that with the velocity that he has. And with Neftali Felicis throwing well, that's what he gets too at about 96 or 97. That tailing down and in action to a right-hand hitter.
2 on, 2 out, 2-2 pitch on the ground, third base. And Seattle out of the inning, but the Rangers do dent that scoreboard against Felix Hernandez. We're tied at 1.
That's right. The Blues have been out. The Reds just came out today. Majestic Grand Slam gift shop. You can purchase that at Texas Rangers stores around the Metroplex. Let me see this guy with a nice headwear right there. Hey, he shoots and scores. There, have a free shirt, buddy. Go out and purchase the shirt. That's a nice headwear. I like that. Way to go, guys. All right, looking good. Josh.
Thank you, Jim. Jose Lopez, the batter. The red looks good and the blue looks good. He can't even really take a side on that one.
Look great.
Lopez underachieving a bit this year, though he is coming on in September. Tom, I'm going to bring the fans in on something I asked you to do. It's just kind of a little project before we got going tonight, because I started going through the standings, trying to figure out which teams have overachieved and which teams have underachieved. And I wanted to get your opinion on some of that. Good off-speed pitch here to Lopez. I think a lot of people nationally, I started thinking about this because there are some people nationally that would suggest the Rangers have overachieved to be where they are, and that got me thinking that I kind of disagree with that. I think they've just achieved.
Yeah, I don't think they've overachieved at all. They won 87 or 88 games last year. Felt like they made some improvements and that they were going to be a better team this year, and that's pretty much exactly what they've been. So I think they've achieved their goal.
The team president said, I expect 92 wins. Right now the pace is for exactly that, 92 wins. So I would
organization was going to be disappointed if they didn't win the division. So they won an amount of games that led to a division title. So they achieved their goal.
So, all right, so we're agreed that the Rangers didn't under or overachieve. They achieved. Seattle wildly underachieved.
I think they underachieved. I didn't think they would win this year, but I don't think anyone thought they would. Right now they'd only have 60 wins. I think you have to say they underachieved.
All right, what about the Angels? I put them down as an under.
I think they underachieved. You know, the injury to Kendry Morales didn't help them, but I think everybody has injuries, and I have to say that they underachieved with their starting pitching.
Right now, Oakland, meantime, 77 and 79. I'm calling that achieved.
Yeah, that's what I had. They achieved. I think they went into the season thinking they had really good young pitching. They did. I don't think anyone thought they were going to be a very good offensive team, and they weren't. So to be right around 500, I think they achieved what they were capable of achieving.
There's the walk to start the inning. That's the second time tonight there's been a leadoff walk from Feldman. All right, so then I started looking at the AL Central, and I don't know what you put down, but I got no underachievers and no overachievers in there. I thought every single team finished right about where I figured they would.
I didn't figure that Minnesota, I figured they had a chance to win, so in that regard I'd say they achieved. But as far as a chance to win 95 games, for me that's a little bit slightly overachieving. The White Sox, I think I would lean toward underachieving, only because they're 9 games out, and I think they went into the season thinking they had a chance to win. So I would say they were slight underachievers. Cleveland, Kansas City, I don't think they could have expected much more than that.
And Detroit will be about an 84-win team. That seems about right.
I think that's about right for them.
All right, so then we go to the East, and I found my only overachiever in the entire American League, I said, was Toronto, because right now they're 81 and 75. They've won 5 straight. I had Boston as underachieving, although that can be explained because of injuries, and I thought everybody else kind of just did what they were supposed to do. Yeah,
I had Boston achieving because of their injuries. When you lose Youkilis and Pedroia and Ellsbury and still end up close to 20 games over 500, I could almost make a case that they overachieved based on those injuries. So I gave them an achieve. But New York, they're pretty much what you expected. I think everybody thought Tampa Bay would have a good, solid season. No one expected much from Baltimore.
Pretty good pitch right there from Feldman, getting Gutierrez off balance.
Yeah, in this game, Scott's almost a little bit more of a curveball pitcher. There haven't been quite as many cutters today, because I don't think it has been his pitch that he's felt comfortable throwing. But it's almost like right from the start, he's felt really comfortable with his curveball. He's thrown a lot of them, and he's made some good pitches with it, too.
Tampa Bay still leading Baltimore tonight. And again, the Yankees have the lead as well. Action in the Ranger bullpen as everything again starts pointing towards the postseason. You're going to see some things that don't necessarily make a lot of sense if this was just a normal game. Looking like a shorter night for Feldman. Getting ahead of Justin Smoke.
Tommy Hunter's out there throwing the bullpen. Forgot about Tommy. I was looking at the bullpen situation last night, thinking the Rangers with Feldman today and Harden tomorrow might be a little undermanned in the bullpen. I forgot about Tommy. Tommy's got to throw too. It could be kind of split the game today between Scott and Tommy. If that, in fact, is why Tommy's out there throwing. Scott's only at 59 pitches right now.
Did you happen to do the project for the National League too?
I did it for everybody, and I'm not quite as familiar with the National League, so a couple of them were just personal opinions.
I just found more overachievers, I guess, in that league. I thought Atlanta this year to be 20 games over. Look at Justin Smoke coming back to Arlington, driving one out. The Rangers knew they were giving up some talent. You got to give up something to get something. Cliff Lee came over. Justin Smoke went to Seattle. He has come back. That ball goes back. It is another home run for Smoke here in his return.
And I went halfway up the hill in center field. Pitch Scott would like to have back, no doubt about that. For Felix Hernandez, 3 runs of support in 4 innings is pretty good.
Smoke had 8 home runs as a Ranger. He's now got 4 as a Mariner. It's still in some ways obviously a work in progress, but the Mariners have time to bring him along. They are trying to cultivate a power hitting first baseman that can play some defense. Mangini with a foul. So anyway, Tom, I thought Atlanta, in their last hurrah for Bobby Cox, I thought they have overachieved.
Yeah, I had them too.
I thought Cincinnati, obviously, because nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
And I put, well, San Diego was an obvious one too. And I put Houston. I thought Houston was going to be close to awful this year. They've been really pretty good in the second half. Houston native David Murphy makes a catch out there.
Yeah, I had Houston as an achiever only because they've got a pretty big payroll. They should win at least that many games. I had San Francisco overachieving. Didn't see them having quite that. Thought they'd compete. Didn't know they'd be 20 or 22 games over 500 though. But those are, you know, kind of outside opinions. The teams themselves may have had higher opinions going into the season of their potential than we do.
I don't think there's any doubt, though, just in terms of pure payroll, the Mets, the Cubs, and the Dodgers take a bow in terms of underachieving.
They're near the bottom for sure.
Outside corner. And hey, Tag, before I forget, too, David Hulse's son, Jackson, celebrating a birthday. Wanted to wish Jackson Hulse a happy 14th. He's at the game tonight with Dad. If that ball goes foul, obviously that's the big thing you remember about David Hulse was the parade of foul balls into the dugout in Anaheim.
And it doesn't seem that long ago that David was playing for the Rangers. Hard to imagine. He's got a son 14 years old now.
Adam Moore, a base hit in the left. And obviously this, for Scott Feldman, he hoped this would be going a little bit differently right now. 3 base runners in the inning. And whenever they want to go to Tommy Hunter, he's ready. Feldman's not even at 70 pitches, though, quite yet. The native Canadian Michael Saunders grew up playing against tomorrow's Rangers starter Rich Harden in British Columbia, in baseball and hockey. Off speed in for a strike. Now the Rangers already have a run against Felix Hernandez, and that, we talk about overachieving and underachieving, that's really kind of overachieving through 3 innings. If you look at his second half ERA, they're going to have to come back and get some more now. Rangers living large off of that 21-6 month of June. That is one thing that's, I guess, a little bit scary, that they're essentially a 500 team other than that 21-6 June. But you can't take it away. The Rangers are where they are. A full 10 games up. Trying to find that outside corner, couldn't do it. Moore will get moving. And the 3-2 to Saunders. We will do it again. We've seen more foul balls off of Scott Feldman this year, Tom, than in previous years. Just didn't have that finisher, it seems like, this year.
Yes, I don't think he's been able to command his cutter and his sinker like he has in the past. I think there's been plenty of games where he's had a pretty good sinker and a pretty good cutter. He just hasn't been able to throw it where he wants to. And that's pretty much what it's all about to be a successful big league pitcher.
Murphy loping in will make the catch, and that'll do it. The 2-run homer by the former Ranger Justin Smoak has Seattle on top 3-1. League Baseball. Go to ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Rangers trailing 3-1, and Jeff Francoeur, late of the New York Mets, and before that the Atlanta Braves will fire it up here against Felix Hernandez. Jeff Francoeur, Tom, was so popular when he came up with Atlanta. He had a rooting section. They called themselves Francoeur's Franks. Bunch of guys dressed up like hot dogs out in the right field bleachers in Atlanta. Full costume with the bun. One guy had yellow felt all over him for mustard. The other guy had red felt all over him for ketchup. We have not seen Francoeur's Franks make an appearance here in Arlington quite yet, but he's emerging as a popular player. Was a football star in high school in Atlanta. He appeared headed to Clemson on a football-baseball scholarship. The Red Sox were in on him, the Braves were in on him, and it was the Braves rolling the dice, drafting him, assuming they could steer him away from Clemson and into a career in pro baseball. And they did. A big month or two when he first got to the Braves. Chipper Jones hung a little Ruben Sierra on him, called him the golden child when he first got there. David Justice had called Chipper Jones that way back when. There's a view from Vladicam. Beautiful night at the ballpark. 79 degrees right now. Towards short. And Francoeur becomes the first out of the fourth inning. The Rangers bounced out to short 3 times in that second inning. Now here in the fourth inning, the 6-3 ground out in the books. Your trivia question presented by AT&T. Who's got the Ranger record for most consecutive seasons with 30 or more steals? Elvis Andrus right now has back-to-back 30s. Elvis not in the lineup tonight. Strike to Mitch Moreland. Felix Hernandez, a pretty good bet to get you into the 7th inning, if not past the 7th inning. Another ground ball towards short, but it's the third baseman instead this time. 24 starts in a row now that Felix Hernandez has pitched through 7.
And not much in the air today. A lot of ground balls. Not a lot of strikeouts. Only 1 strikeout.
Brings up Jorge Cantu. Jorge will always have September 25th. That will never be taken away from him. Those 2 runs batted in and the 1 home run. The entirety of his production as a Ranger was that memorable afternoon that helped the Rangers get that AL West title. 3 more grounders, just like the second inning. Same 3 guys, all ground out here in the 4th. It stays 3-1. Get you back to that trivia question brought to you by AT&T. The Ranger record for most consecutive 30 steal seasons. It was accomplished back in the 70s, late 70s. Bump Wills, Maury's son. 3 years in a row. Another guy with tremendous speed joining us right now. That is, that is Steve Busby. You think I'm clowning around? I've seen you move.
Yeah.
Not lately. But
no, I haven't moved lately.
Well, Scott Feldman still out there, and well, boy, obviously, Buzz, from word go this year, disappointing, I think, is the word for Scott Feldman.
Yeah, and Josh, you look back on the way things started out, and it's almost like Scott thought he had to be better than what he was last year, and tried to improve, tried to tinker a little bit, and sometimes that can get you in a lot of trouble. I thought it did with Scott.
Because 17 wins last year. If you just Xerox that and do it again, that's fine.
Buzz, if you had to give like a short sentence or two on what the reason was it mechanical? Was it confidence? Was it whatever? His sinker didn't sink? Can you summarize it in any way like that, or just a combination of everything?
My opinion is, Tom, he went away from his sinker. I think he fell in love. And I think I mentioned this to you earlier in the year that I thought he fell in love with that cut fastball.
Right.
And it's great to break a bunch of bats, which he did last year. That was his hallmark with that cutter in on a left-hander.
Yeah.
But you forget that it was set up, and he got those broken bats because you had the good sinker. And guys are looking out over the plate.
Right.
And I thought that, and believe me, he's not the only one that's done that. I know I did it a few times with a slider, and guys do it. You forget. You forget why things work the way they work, how you set stuff up, and I think that happened to Scott, and I don't think he ever rebounded from it.
Is it falling in love with one pitch or falling out of love with another?
No, I think it's falling in love with one pitch, Josh, and in this case anyway. It wasn't that he didn't throw his sinker, but he did not throw it enough to have a feel for it. And, I think most sinker ball pitchers will tell you that the more they throw, the tireder they get, so to speak, the better they are. The more the ball comes out of their hand well and sinks well. And if you don't throw your sinker a lot, sometimes you try to pump it up too much, and then you lose the sink on it.
Can something happen to your mechanics or to your feel for a pitch by throwing a cutter that when you go back to it, you go, oh, wow, where is it? I can't get my sinker to do what I want it to do.
I don't know, Tom. That's an interesting question. Off the top of my head, I would say not in Scott's case, because he didn't throw a big cutter, a slider-type cutter.
Right.
It was a variation of the fastball that he just changed his grip a little bit. I wouldn't think that would cause you to lose it, but I'm not going to say definitively no.
Yeah.
So much of of pitching and of confidence is the mental part of things, how you approach stuff mentally, and you can talk yourself out of virtually anything.
Sure.
Ichiro takes one of those big swashbuckling swings and fouls it.
All right, Buzz, you're pitching today. You're at your best, and Ichiro's the hitter. How do you pitch Ichiro? You personally, with the stuff that you had.
Me personally, I'm going to make Ichiro pretty conscious of that fastball inside to start off with. See if I can't get him a little less aggressive.
Ways off of that.
A guy like Ichiro, if you don't try and take some of his aggressiveness away, I think you have no chance. Because when he's aggressive, he feels like he can turn on the pitch inside and also stay back long enough to hit the ball away. I mean, he is just a very, very gifted hitter.
All 10 years in the big leagues with at least 200 hits. We were talking about that earlier. And he's now moved ahead. I mean, think about this. On the all-time hit list here, Buzz, he's ahead of Mike Schmidt. He's ahead of Willie Stargell. Those were Hall of Famers that played forever.
Yep.
Ichiro's been at this 10 years, and he's already passed them both.
When I saw the list you guys had up earlier of the Hall of Fame guys that he's with in that consecutive 200 hits plus seasons, that's amazing. Just simply amazing. And those guys are no slouches. You're talking about the cream of the crop that ever play the game.
Smothered at third base. But that's Ichiro running, and that's yet another infield hit for him. Nice job by Cantu just to get it, but there's that approach. He's trying to go to left field.
I think the most impressive thing to me about Ichiro is a guy his size can play every single day. I mean, he's got to be in some kind of shape to withstand 162 games and go out there at that level every day.
It's a rout when you look at the infield of hits. Ron Washington out to the mound. And they were hoping to get 5 innings out of Scott Feldman tonight. No move has been made quite yet, but Tommy Hunter is ready. Home plate umpire Laz Diaz strolls out. Now the move will be made. Buzz, if you can stick around, I got one more to throw at you about Ichiro when we come back. Just to, again, talk about his greatness. Mariners on top 3-1. Pitching change break. We'll be right back. Quite go 5. He goes 4 1/3, giving up 5 hits, 3 runs. And now Tommy Hunter, and this is the role he's going to be used in the postseason, fellas. Steve Busby visiting with us here along with Tom Grieve. And I guess it's a good way, Buzz, I'll put it to you, to get Hunter used to what he might have to do. Come in a 5th inning or something next week. So we were talking about Ichiro. And, I think it's impressive anytime a guy has a double-digit hit streak. And in 10 years, Ichiro has had 37 different streaks of at least 10 games. The record we found out is Hank Aaron, and he's another guy that played forever. 44 of them. And, that's just the mark of consistency, obviously, if you can string that many hits together that many times. But you figure Ichiro might have that Hank Aaron record by late next year, the way he's going.
He's truly incredible. And to go along with what Tom was saying about playing that much, for a guy that has to use his legs the way that Suzuki does, too, that puts it right on top of it. It's not just going out there every single day, but running to do your thing every day.
Yeah, Hank Aaron wasn't slow. He was a good runner, but he didn't get the infield hits that Ichiro gets either.
Sean Figgins follows Ichiro. And that's got to be a little bit scary for a pitcher, I would think, Buzz, knowing that those first 2 guys can get on and just create havoc out there.
Pretty tough 1-2 combination for Seattle. Would have been interesting to see what would have happened to the Mariners' year had Figgins started off well. And, Suzuki's had his typical year. But, you get those 2 igniters at the top of the order, and a lot of good things can happen for you offensively.
That's assuming, though, I guess, that you got a 3, 4, 5 that can drive him in.
Yeah.
The Mariners just never really had that. We were talking earlier. Ken Griffey Jr. just wasn't himself anymore. Milton Bradley, unfortunately, was himself in some ways. Got hurt. Yankees still lead Toronto. It's 5-1 now. And Tampa Bay has defeated Baltimore. It's 5-0 as the final.
Although that idea, Josh, of those back-to-back guys with speed, that kind of gets you excited about the Ranger potential when you have Bourbon hitting 9th and Elvis hitting 1st. You've got the same thing. It's just separated by 1 time through the order.
Do you think there will ever come a day, maybe even real soon, that those guys like Figgins and Ichiro hit 1-2? Or because Michael Young is who he is, will he always be number 2?
As long as Michael's walking upright, I don't think so. I can't see Michael hitting anywhere else in a Ranger order except second. He's just, well, he's a fixture there. Plus, he's comfortable, and I don't think you can argue with the results. But in the American League, why not have your 9-1-2 instead of just worrying about 1-2?
Hunter deals, and Figgins takes down and outside. Were you ever conscious of how many times you were throwing to first with a speedy guy over there, or did it just, I'm going to just do this until I feel comfortable that he's not going kind of thing?
I was conscious of it, Josh. What I tried to do was break a runner's rhythm. And I put in a lot of studying the runners when I wasn't pitching, watching what guys did, when they like to run, the counts and time of the game and things like that. And what I tried to do was make sure that I was very decided on whether I was going to work on the runner at first base or try to make a good pitch. And I tried never to make a pitch to the plate if I was thinking about holding the runner close.
So never split your attention, just
exactly.
One or the other.
Exactly. Yeah, and if I was going to work on the guy at first and he didn't get a good lead, or he was just kind of lolling around over there, I'd step off and start the whole process again, hop back on the rubber.
Fouled by Figgins.
I can remember people like Bert Campaneris and Billy North with the A's at the time were two pretty good base stealers. I used to throw over a lot with them. I'd make everybody in the stands mad, even our home crowd get mad.
But your job is to win a ball game, right? I mean,
well, at least give us an opportunity if he decided to steal to throw him out. It was my fault for getting him on in the first place.
There goes Ichiro. Ground ball soaked up by Moreland. Hunter wins the foot race. I don't know if that would happen in like a 100-yard dash, Figgins and Hunter, but Hunter closing in and got Figgins. So now Ichiro at second and the batter Jose Lopez. Buzz, your overall impression about Tommy Hunter this year?
I think you've seen a young pitcher become a very accomplished guy in just his second year. And, how he pitched at home, to me, is the most impressive thing about him this year because, Hunter's a fly ball pitcher, basically.
Yeah.
And he's learned to adjust to this ballpark. Normally, you're a fly ball pitcher here, and, your ERA is somewhere north of 5. But Tommy Hunter has found a way to get it done. And, I think for a young man to do that with very little major league experience is really very impressive.
That ball spinning towards the right field line. It's foul. And I guess as an overall here this year, Buzz, the team ERA at home is 3.65. Now, the record for this ballpark was just set last year was 4.26.
Yeah.
So Hunter and company this year have figured out how to pitch here for sure.
Well, I think a lot of that credit goes obviously to the pitchers, but Mike Maddox and Andy Hawkins have done a great job of instilling in guys that this is not the death knell sounded every time for a pitcher when you walk out to the mound here at Rangers Ballpark in Arlington. You can pitch effectively here. And if you can pitch effectively in one ballpark, you can probably pitch effectively in another. It just doesn't have to change that much.
Hunter gets his man, gets out of the inning. Buzz, thank you for your time, Bud. We'll see you after the game on Rangers Live.
Look forward to it.
Thanks, Buzz.
3-1 our score, middle 5. Claw and Antlers parade around the warning track. And that official Claw and Antler shirt is now available in both red and blue at the Majestic Grand Slam shop. 972 Rangers to get your tickets for the Sunday game, or go online, TexasRangers.com. Benji Molina had a single and a right to get the Rangers on their way to a run in the third inning. Borbone and Herman to follow. Again, the Rangers, you talk about a strong bench tonight. Andrews, Kinsler, Young, and Guerrero. Again, for Felix Hernandez, what he's going after tonight is a chance to go over 500. At least stake a claim to being a Cy Young possibility. The other stats, besides wins and losses, I mean, he's an absolute. Chance at third base, Lopez will get Benji Molina. A lot of ground balls to the left side tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of a different kind of a game for Hernandez. He's second in the league in strikeouts. He struck out 228 batters this year. But today he's only gotten one strikeout. Instead, a lot of sinkers and a lot of ground balls have been pretty effective for him.
Strop and Rapata for the Rangers in the bullpen. Could be kind of an emptying of the bullpen kind of night tonight. Tommy Hunter being used in relief, again, just kind of getting him ready for what his role will be in the playoffs. First time that Tommy's been used in relief at the big league level. Borbone's batting average now up over 280. It's been a strong finishing kick to his season. We'll try to get another infield hit. But Hernandez barely beats him to the bag and then gets out of dodge just in time. How many ground ball outs do you have him for?
Well,
3,
kind
6.
of sacrifice bunt.
Right, what you do?
5, 6,
to 10?
7, 8, 9, 10, 12.
12, wow. One fly out, one strikeout. The one fly out was off the bat of the guy batting now, Esteban Herman. Hernandez bidding for what would be his 30th quality start of the year. That's the 6 innings or more, 3 runs or less. That has been accomplished once since 1992. Somebody to have 30 quality starts in a year. And he is on his way. It's a 10-pitch inning. Rangers down in order. It stays 3-1. proud sponsor of Texas baseball, and by Corona, who invites you to find your beach. Beautiful night here at the ballpark, but the Mariners are not cooperating. They're leading 3-1. A Justin Smoke home run has them on top. No flash photography, please. Clay Rapata will take over on the mound. And all of a sudden, Tom, not only does he have a little bit of an ERA, he's got quite a lot of an ERA because of the last couple of appearances that he's had.
But he walked a left-hander or two, which is uncharacteristic, at least from what we've seen from him in a short time. And then he faced some right-hand hitters as well. Good start to this inning, though.
Yes, it is. Franklin Gutierrez is out. Rapata, I mean, it sure doesn't look like, Tom, that he's going to pitch his way out of contention to be on that postseason roster. He's already established, even with a brief wrinkle here, that he's a valuable guy to have when you want to just match up against a tough lefty.
Yeah, he's come in some key games, late in the game, close games, faced lefties, been pretty impressive.
Three-run homer yesterday, two-run homer tonight for the Goose Creek, South Carolina native, Justin Smoke. Rangers' #1 pick a few summers ago out of the University of South Carolina. The other USC. That time the ball got in on Smoke, and he bloops it into left. David Murphy. Murphy making a lot of plays tonight for the Rangers out there. And the guys on the left side of the infield have been making a lot of plays for Seattle.
Yeah, Hernandez had 12 ground ball outs, 2 balls in the air. Herman's hit them both. And only 1 strikeout through 5 innings.
Matt Mangini now, lefty to lefty. And a strike on the outside corner. Yeah, you can see why that lefty-lefty thing works. Rangers will have 2, 3, 4 in the order coming up in the bottom of the 6th inning. Felix Hernandez breezing as usual. In there, struck him out. Nice quick inning for Clay Rapata. Now the Rangers coming up. Blanco, Murphy, and Cruz. If a Ranger hits a grand slam this inning, we're giving away $25,000. The Rangers need to start having at it against Felix Hernandez, who his last 3 starts, Tom, has allowed 3 hits, 2 hits, and 2 hits.
Yeah, it's. I don't know what else we can say about Hernandez. It's just been a great season for him. He's only had 1 strikeout tonight. The fewest he's had on the season in any game has been 3. He's done that twice. But on the season, he's second. He's only a few strikeouts behind Jared Weaver for the league. His best opponent's batting average, the best ERA, the most innings, and the most starts.
This might cost him, though. I mean, if he's looking for that strikeout title, if he ends up with only 1 or 2 or 3 tonight, Jared Weaver's going to have another start. Not a done deal that Hernandez would make his last scheduled start on Sunday. He's scheduled against Oakland, but you know, he's 24 years old, Tom, and he's going to be at around 250 innings. That's going to lead the league. Do you really need him to go out there and pitch if, you know, you're already at, say, 60 and 101?
Yeah, I don't think he can win or lose the Cy Young Award by starting on the last day of the season. But boy, there's a lot of good competition. David Price won his 19th game today.
Shutout, right?
I don't know if he won 9, but they didn't score off him while he was in there. John Lester's got 19 wins. Sabathia's got 20. Buchholz is among the league leaders with 17 wins. Cahill's been up there with 17 wins. There's a lot of good pitchers in the American League this year, statistically and otherwise. Jared Weaver leads the league in strikeouts. Justin Verlander's won 17 or 18 games.
8 innings of a 5-hit ball tonight for Price.
Pretty nice.
Blanco squirts one past the mound. Another ground out to the left side.
And I think it just shows with Hernandez on a night where he might not have his dominating strikeout stuff. He still knows how to pitch at a young age to the point where he can use his sinker and get ground balls and still pitch just as effectively. The outs are on weakly hit ground balls instead of strikeouts. The results are still pretty solid.
Murphy on a 3-0 swing drove in the only Ranger run tonight. And even that wasn't exactly a line shot on 3-0. He blooped it in the left, but got the job done.
Yeah, it was probably ball 4 that David hit.
We were talking, Tom, about the attendance situation down in Tampa Bay. Longoria spoke out about the crowd of 12,000 last night. David Price tweeted about it before his start, called it embarrassing. And so what's happened now, the team president, Dallas guy, Matt Silverman, announced before the game that for tomorrow's game, which is the regular season home finale, they're just going to make 20,000 tickets available free of charge. Because the team president says, I want my players to play in a full house. And if I got to, you know, just kind of take one for the team and give away tickets to make that happen, well, you know what? For one night, I'll do that.
Well, I think they're a very well-run team right now. They weren't years back, but right now they are. And there's nothing that they're doing to drive fans away. They don't have prohibitive prices at the ballpark. They're a fan-friendly organization with a good team. There's really nothing they're doing wrong right now. And it's just a shame that it's not better for them than it is. But if, in fact, it's because people don't want to come across the bridge, if they get a new stadium, they better put it on the other side of the bridge or they might be wasting their money.
What did Yogi say? Something like, if nobody wants to come, you can't stop them. 3-2 to Murphy. Fires another one in the left center field. That one creases the alley. Murphy on his way to second base. He's got a 1-out double, and there is one guy that has solved King Felix tonight. It's Murphy.
And earlier in the year, he had a big home run against Felix last time, 2 times ago into Seattle.
Broke open a 0-0 game in the 7th when he hit the home run. By the way, the attendance in Tampa Bay tonight, 17,000.
A little bit better. Maybe a few thousand people came because of Longoria's
calling him out.
Yep.
Nelson Cruz will take down and outside. I guess the ultimate embarrassment would be if they made those 20,000 tickets available tomorrow and they couldn't get rid of them.
Yeah, I guess that would just prove the point to the nth degree.
Nelson Cruz, the tying man, is up 2-0. And your Coors Light cold hard blast from yesterday. Wearing the red. Socked it out, got the Rangers close. Big hop goes off of the third baseman Lopez and hit him right in the hand, and he's hurt. And he's mad too because he's looking down at that hand going, I can't continue. Looks like a dislocation there. Another ground ball to the left side. Oh, looks like it split his nail. Oh boy. Oh, that's painful. It's scored as a base hit. And Jeff Francoeur will come up as the go-ahead man. There's going to have to be a new third baseman.
He had his hand near his glove so that he'd be in position to make the throw. The ball came up and hit right on the end of his finger.
He's looking down, realizing he's in trouble. Matt Tuiasosopo, it appears, will come on for Lopez. Well, the Rangers have their opportunity here, Tag. You can't ask for much more than this against Felix Hernandez. 2 on and 1 out. And if somebody's got a big swing in him here, and this the Sonic Slam inning, that wouldn't be all bad. We're coming up to the part of the order. It's hit the ball on the ground to the left side every time. Francoeur twice, Moreland twice, Cantu twice. Got a little more than 26,000 announced tonight here in Arlington. Trying to see if the Rangers can come back against one of the great pitchers of our time, the 24-year-old Felix Hernandez. But there's another ground ball. 4, 6, 3. Boy, look at that. That was pretty to watch. Not fun, though, for Jeff Francoeur to have hit into. Rangers had their opportunity, could not get it against Felix Hernandez. It stays 3-1. girl comes down. Does she think she's fast? Yes, she does. She runs like a deer.
I'd be willing to bet she's a soccer player.
That was a double meaning tonight. She runs like a deer. Adam Moore takes down and in. Clay Rapata continues on the mound. The Rangers kind of kicking themselves, I'm sure, Tag. They had an opportunity against Felix Hernandez to get something going, but a double play.
Well, the way he's pitching tonight, a double play was a distinct possibility. He's had 18 outs, and 15 of them have come on ground balls.
Out of Mineola, Texas, Adam Moore, former UTA Maverick, launches in a left. Boy, he's had some pretty decent swings against the Rangers all year. Throw in. Lunging is Herman. Got him!
How about that play?
What a job both ways. Murphy to Herman.
That's some kind of throw by David Murphy. Went as fast as he could to get to the ball. He's left-handed, so he's got to turn all the way around to throw it blindly. Launches it in the vicinity of second base and gets it pretty darn close to second base. And then Herman makes a beautiful catch and spin around tag to get the out.
Got him right on the thumb.
What a play.
Too bad there's no sign for that, like an archery bow and arrow. We've seen the claw, we've seen the antlers. Murphy, if he wanted to, could strike that archer's pose. And Herman, I don't know what you do for that.
That was a nice play.
Rapata to Saunders for a strike.
He lifts his hand up and brings it back down. He's going to say, hey, you didn't touch my hand, but John Hirschbeck is the second base umpire. He said, yes, he did.
Saunders surprising everybody with a bunt. Molina spins and fires. It's too late. With a man on, we go to Jim Knox.
All right, hey, Josh, got Christian in from Munich, Germany. Big-time Ranger fan, I understand, right?
Yeah, of course. We came all the way down from Munich, Germany. My friends, to see the Rangers.
All right, and I understand you got regular season tickets, but you're looking for playoff tickets?
Of course, I would pay a lot of euros for playoff tickets.
Really? Like how many are we talking about? How much?
200 euros.
200, huh? All right. Big spender over here from Munich. Okay. Way to go, Rangers from Munich. Way to go, Christian. 200 euros.
Might have a few people approaching him after that interview.
Jim, how do we say claw and antlers in German?
Yeah, how do you say claw and antlers in Germany? Say claw and antlers in Germany.
Claw antlers?
Claw and then antlers.
Like a bear claw.
Yeah.
And like antlers.
Yeah, go ahead.
Like on a deer.
A beer?
How do you say that in German?
Antlers on a beer.
Headlocks.
Not beer. Deer.
Hörner.
This is going to be like Pictionary.
Good. Okay. There we go.
Right.
Thanks, guys.
That was a bad question by the play-by-play guy. Thanks, Jim. He got all excited. He said, how do you say beer? No, deer. Past the mound. Look at Blanco. Flip to Herman. Got him.
Blanco might have done something to his hand, too.
Well, we have seen injured digits here all over the place. First it was Lopez, and now it looks like Blanco. Boy, hopefully that's just some sort of jam or bruise.
That's two pretty amazing outs in this inning. David Murphy and his throw and the tag by Herman, and now beautiful play by Blanco on a ball that was pretty well hit by Wilson. Looked like a base hit up the middle. Blanco took it away from him.
Check it out on our Fox Exmo cam. Look at that. Great camera work.
Must have bent his hand back some way when he went down on the ground. Slid along the ground with his glove hand. Yeah, one thing with Blanco, when Blanco's out there at second or short, you don't lose a whole lot defensively. He's a very solid defensive player. And the way he's hit this year is averaging the 280s. You have to think he's really solidified his role on this ball club, because he's not only shown he can play multiple positions and be a good utility player, he's shown that when he gets a chance to play for an extended period of time, he can play pretty well too. Sometimes that separates pure utility players from guys that are a notch better than that because of his ability to play every day if he gets the chance. The other thing he's got a good attitude.
Great attitude.
Positive guy. Yep. Happy all the time.
Calls everybody buddy.
Yeah, and he's a good guy to have on the team.
With a man on, it's Ichiro at the plate. Kind of an extended look at Clay Rapata. A lot of times he's out there for one or just two batters. Feldman, Hunter, and Rapata tonight. Feldman went 4 1/3, allowing 5 hits, 3 runs. 2 walks, 2 strikeouts. In for a strike. And again, here will be a great test. I mean, the reason you are pondering Rapata on your postseason roster, matching up against a tough lefty. Arguably, there's no tougher lefty in terms of getting on base than Ichiro. Scooped by Moreland. The Virginia native, Clay Rapata. Slings it behind Ichiro. Three runs, 7 hits for Seattle. It is 1 run on 4 for the Rangers right now. Back-to-back hits for the Rangers last inning, but then the Francoeur double play. On the ground. Rapata can go to first with it. Whoa! He got it there. And we are at the stretch. 3-1 Seattle here on Fox Sports Southwest. Felix Hernandez with a ERA this year of 2.3. is under Cy Young consideration. One loss record, nothing to write home about, but he's pitching for a team that is 60-96. Not all his fault.
Yeah, I think you just have to ask the voters if they put every one of those other pitchers in his spot in this rotation, would they have a better one-loss record than he does?
The cynics will
probably know.
I mean, but the cynics will say, and I'm not on this side, but what they're going to say is, well, they finished last anyway. They could have done that without him. There will be those that say CC Sabathia meant more to the Yankees, that CJ Wilson meant more to the Rangers, or whoever, David Price meant more to Tampa Bay. But
and I would buy their argument if they were talking about most valuable player, but all they're talking about is who pitched the best, who statistically was the best pitcher.
And that is different from the MVP, right?
I think it's different, yeah. And there will be some people who will say, well, wins do count. A guy that wins 20 games gets more points than a guy that wins 12 games. And if you just look at it purely statistically, they're right. But I think when you look at the circumstances around it, you have to give a lot of consideration to Hernandez. But the other side of it is, it's not like you're choosing between significantly inferior pitchers. There's about 5 pitchers that have had seasons that if you pick them as the Cy Young winner, you won't be embarrassed for any one of them. They're really good pitchers having good years. CJ has had an excellent year. Gio Gonzalez has had a very similar season to CJ. He's had a good year for Oakland. He's in the top 10 in ERA. They'll both fall a little bit short when it comes time to add up the votes for that award, but they've both had solid seasons.
Outside corner to Cantu.
That looked like, I think he can throw any pitch he wants to. That looked like a 94-mile-an-hour cutter. This pitch is liable to be a 90-mile-an-hour ball that sinks down and in. Just pure heat right there.
And very impressive. If he ends up with, he's already got the 2.3 ERA. He's already got the 220 strikeouts. If he goes 8 2/3 tonight, he'll also have 250 innings. And all of that has been accomplished once in the American League since 1978. That was Roger Clemens in '97. You got to go back to Ron Guidry in 1978 to find another American League season like that. And before that, it was Nolan Ryan.
That's a 94-mile-an-hour cutter he's throwing now. Like he's decided, okay, I'm going to give him a little bit different look here in the 7th inning.
Molina pops one foul.
The Seattle PR people had a nice note in their package tonight that said he could become the 5th pitcher since 1950 to have sub-seasons of 250 ERA back-to-back, sub-250 ERA years back-to-back. It's 231 coming in, so that's pretty much a shoe-in to do that. His innings pitch totals have gone up every year for the last 4 years, starting around 200 up to 238 last year and over 250 this year probably.
Benji Molina gets into one. Off the glove of Saunders. And Molina will get to second base. It's the second time this year that a Ranger has hit the glove of a lunging Michael Saunders. Does Benji give the antlers? The guys want it. We've seen the downward antlers in a self-deprecating way from Benji before. He'll come out for a pinch runner. Taylor Teagarden will step in instead. Well, Benji, who had been 0 for 12 against Felix Hernandez, tonight is 2 for 3.
Yeah, he's hit the ball well tonight, twice against him. He's got 2 hits. David's got 2 hits.
Bourbon 0 for 2, but he has scored a run tonight. Here's a tying man here. 2 out in the 7th inning. Again, this will be the 25th start in a row for Hernandez with 1 more out that he's pitched through 7 innings. That's amazing. Five hits for the Rangers tonight. And again, Hernandez had given up 5 total in his previous 2 starts before tonight. Not even at 100 pitches for Hernandez. Yeah, Felix Hernandez, if he does get that Cy Young, not a lot of people will argue the point. It is a 3-1 lead for Seattle, end of 7. Time to dive across and just get the thumb of Adam Moore. Blanco, a terrific play. Hurt himself a bit on that one, but despite jamming his thumb, he sweeps that ball to Herman for the out. All kinds of defensive changes now as we go on to the 8th inning. Herman moves over from second to short. Cantu will be at second base. That's a position he played quite a bit for Tampa Bay years ago. Chris Davis comes in the game to play third, and Mitch Moreland stays at first. There you go with Chris Davis. New catcher is Taylor Teagarden, and the new pitcher is Darren O'Day. Another high-quality season for O'Day. They're going to test this new defensive alignment right away. O'Day got his man.
Nice play.
Biggins trying to bunt again. Last year, Darren O'Day arrived from the New York Mets, and we didn't really know that much about him. We had seen him a little bit with the Angels, and he's reasonably impressive, but the Mets cast him loose. And he basically did all that last year, too, for the Rangers. He is duplicated his 09 here in 2010. All 4 of those home runs, Tom, were allowed in Toronto.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
He has not given up a homer on U.S. soil since the middle of 09. There's Tuya Sosopo with a foul upstairs. We mentioned earlier Teagarden catching. Tuya Sosopo came on when Lopez hurt his hand. The way Lopez left the field tag, I think a pretty safe bet. We will not see Lopez starting tomorrow.
No, you wouldn't think so. That injury could be just as painful tomorrow as it is right now. And, you know, there's a chance to where that hit right on the end of his finger that he might have broken the end of a little bone at the end of his finger. Yes, that's strike 3.
On appeal, why not?
Kind of a delayed reaction by everybody.
It is finally realized that that is out number 2.
Taylor knew it. He threw to first base. I think the batter knew it too. He was just saying he tipped it. I don't know.
Laz Diaz, well, was he pointing to get confirmation from Wally Bell that it wasn't tipped?
I thought he was just calling it strike 3 with his right hand.
Either way, it is definitely strike 3. And Franklin Gutierrez had a sac fly back in the first inning. The only other thing that's happened offensively for Seattle tonight, that 2-run homer by Justin Smoke. He stands to be the hero back-to-back nights against his former team. Seven hits for Seattle, 5 for the Rangers tonight. Both teams playing errorless ball. Now we're getting the injury update, Tom, on Blanco. Sounds like a day-to-day.
Mild sprain of the left index finger, day-to-day.
It's going to definitely put a crimp in his shaving cream pie celebration here for a day or two. Unless he goes with his other hand. Third base and taken care of over there by Chris Davis. Just a reminder, he can play over there as well. Nicely done by Darren O'Day. Bullpen overall has looked real good tonight. 3-1 Seattle. Like to learn more about Chevy's commitment to Youth League Baseball? Go to ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Felix Hernandez, as advertised tonight, 5 hitting the Rangers. And the Rangers right now at 87-69. They'd love to fulfill that Nolan Ryan prediction of 92 regular season wins, and they've still got a shot. Tonight, by the way, the anniversary of Nolan's 3rd no-hitter, 1974 against the Twins. He struck out Eric Soderholm after a pinch walk by Harmon Killebrew. That strikeout was his 15th of the night, giving him his 22nd win of that year. So happy anniversary to Nolan. Nolan had years kind of like what Felix Hernandez is going through, where the winning percentage wasn't great, but all the other numbers were spectacular. Dan Cortez warming for Seattle. Nasty stuff, boy.
90 miles an hour. He dropped like a knuckleball.
Blanco was about to bat. Instead, it's Davis, of course. We go to Jim Knox.
All right, Josh, real quick time for the Ranger fan of the game. It has to be Jacob from Kemp. 10-year-old Jacob. He's been hollering for the Rangers all game long. He loves the Rangers, and he says he yells really loud. That's why he's the Ranger fan of the game. Let's hear it, Jacob. All right, one more time, Jacob. All right, there we go. Here's the hat. Here's the Year Supply gummy bears. Just kidding on that. Congratulations. One more time.
That's one happy little guy right there, boy.
It's like a pull toy.
Yeah, look he gave Jim. I can't believe I met you.
How about that? That's cool. Little Jim Knox action right there. Crowd of 26,043 tonight. Davis with his first at bat and trying to get that train moving again. Hitless in his last 10 trips. Oh, and Adam Moore again. We've mentioned it before. That's the byproduct of cutters and sinkers that really sink. We saw it with Feldman tonight with foul tips around the home plate, and with Hernandez. If you're Adam Moore, you, I guess, better get ready to be beaten up. But then you get to go and tell your family that you caught a Cy Young winner. The subtle but scary thing, I think, Tom, about Hernandez, he's 24. Assumably, he will just keep learning things and even get better.
I guess it's possible. He seems to be getting better and better every year. Last year, he had a better one-loss record. He was 19-5 last year.
Yeah, he was second in the Cy Young balloting last year behind Zach Greinke.
His ERA is even better this year. Strikeout totals are higher. His walk totals are down a little bit. Number of hits allowed is down. So all the contributing numbers are a little bit better this year, even though he doesn't have the wins to go along with it.
Pedro Strop getting ready in the Ranger pen. Mariners have been held to their usual 3 runs tonight. It's been about what they've been averaging really since the All-Star break. But so far it's been enough. What nasty is as nasty does.
He's like turned his game around now. Instead of going for just ground ball outs, now he gets to the 7th and 8th and going to go for the strikeout. He had 1 strikeout through 6 innings. Now he's got 4 in the 7th and 8th.
I mean, you really, not to be glib about it, you kind of get that sense. It's like, I'm bored with all these grounders. Let me see if I can get my strikeout pitch working.
Oh, he's started to throw a little bit differently. And it's almost like he's going for the strikeout now.
Murphy has got him a couple times tonight. Had the RBI single on a 3-0 count in the 3rd. And rifled a double in the 6th.
You're talking about the Cy Young candidates. David Price won tonight, didn't give up a run. Sabathia pitched for New York and won his 21st game. Hernandez is having a big game, so all on the same night.
Pitch number 111 tonight settles into the glove of the left fielder. So he is on line to go to 13 and 12. 3-1 to Seattle at the end of 8. Post-game show and the Big 12 football Saturday. After all that, Saturday on Fox Sports Southwest. Rangers gearing up for the playoffs. Pedro Strop does not figure to be on the postseason roster, but they'll get him some work here. Got to get that ERA out of the 12th century here. Strop last year represented pretty well in his rookie voyage as a major leaguer. Although even last year the ERA wasn't great. It was in the 7s, but I think we just saw a little bit more of what Strop was all about last year. He had to come on and face Joe Mauer as his first big league batter, and he struck him out. Now he will face Justin Smoke, and former Ranger first rounder. 2 home runs in this series. Strop just has not been able to command the way he really needs to quite yet. Evidence of that right here. Justin Smoke, who's known for his patience anyway, is going to draw the walk. I think Strop would be the first to admit he still needs some polish. But remember, he's only been at this as a pitcher since 2006. He was a position player before that. It was a shortstop. Coming into this year, he'd only pitched professionally, Tag, 150 innings.
Well, in the minor leagues, in AAA this year, he only walked 14 batters in 42 innings. That's about 3 per 9 innings. And in the big leagues, he's walking about 1 per inning, or 9 per 9 innings, more than that, really. So I think it's just a matter of getting to the point where he's comfortable, confident, and relaxed at the big league level. Because really what the Rangers would like to see him do is throw the ball here exactly like he threw it in AAA. Because he was very successful at AAA, which led to his call-up, meaning the same way he was pitching in AAA, the Rangers believe could lead to success at the big league level. But it's a lot different pitching in the big leagues than it is in the minor leagues.
Well, you just got Matt Mangini. Outside corner for strike 3. It was 4-0 to Smoke. It was 0-3 to Mangini. All balls to one, all strikes to the other. Infield, a double play depth for the catcher, Adam Moore. Tomorrow, Rich Harden for the Rangers. Jason Vargas, another hard luck Seattle Mariner pitcher, going the other way. That is a 105 first pitch tomorrow, don't forget. I had a fleeting moment today, Tag, where I could have sworn today was Wednesday. And I thought I just kind of overslept and missed the game.
That's a scary feeling.
That's a bad feeling right there. I figured somebody might have called, though, you know. And
yeah.
Like,
I think they would have.
Like, where are you? It's the 3rd inning. Nope, tomorrow's the 105 game. And I will set my alarm accordingly. That's right here on Fox Sports Southwest. And then back to night games Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And the regular season finale, 2:05 on Sunday, Fan Appreciation Day. The Claw and Antlers parade beforehand. Adam Moore.
Pedro's getting serious after the walk. Couple of strikeouts. Much better, Pedro.
By the way, Tom, we were wondering earlier how to say Claw and Antlers in German. And that's been tweeted to me.
By Arnold Schwarzenegger?
No, I don't think so. We're not Twitter buddies. Be the Krala and Gavai. At least I hope this guy is not putting me on. You know, who knows what I just said.
Dave Burchett just told me Arnold Schwarzenegger's not German.
Yeah, that's the other issue there.
That doesn't mean he doesn't speak German.
Austrian, German, whatever. Governor of California, Montana, doesn't really matter.
Well, maybe it was Helmut Schmidt. All the way from Germany. He's a Ranger fan, you know.
Helmut?
Yeah. He's got a big head.
Oh, I heard that. Saunders, foul. And not by much.
Yes.
Saunders now will settle back in. Just praying you don't start breaking out more Hogan's Hero stuff now, because
I'm done. That's about all I can think of.
Saunders, a little bloop. Dropping into center field. So the Mariners looking to pad the lead here. Get a walk and a single. And Josh Wilson will be the batter.
I was trying to come up with the name of one of those lady East German shot putters, but I couldn't remember it.
It just didn't roll right off your tongue there?
Just couldn't quite think of it. Let's see someone tweet that one.
Yeah, no kidding. Anything Austrian that anybody wants to tweet me, that's fine.
Maybe it came from the Von Trapp family.
Well, that
just a little outside.
Not going great for Strop right here. It'll be second and third with 2 out. And please don't sing Edelweiss. I just couldn't handle that tonight.
Bryce Toast isn't playing it right now. That might be as far outside as any pitch this year. That's on the other side of the left-handed batter's box.
Wilson cranks it into left.
We got a guy there.
He got nothing. We go to the bottom of the 9th. Rangers need 2 to tie and try to win. F-150 and drive one. Ford is the best in Texas. The Last Chance Saloon is open for business here. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning, and the Rangers need to get a couple of runs off Brandon League to tie it, or 3 to win it walk-off style. We saw League yesterday, and he was pretty good.
He got the save yesterday.
He will pump one right in there to Nelson Cruz. Felix Hernandez will tilt the scales above 500 if indeed the Mariners hang on here. He'd go to 13 and 12. ERA would go to under 2.3. And again, it just what it does is it puts him squarely in the conversation for Cy Young. Doesn't guarantee anything. But as we said coming on the air tonight, had he lost tonight, 12 and 13 would have been a tough sell for the Cy Young voters. Out number 1. Rangers Live, of course, comes up after the game. Let's say hello to John Radigan.
Hey, Josh. Steve Busby and I sitting down here plotting strategy for the show. Now, we're still rooting for the 3-run inning and a walk-off. But if that doesn't happen, we'll be on right after the game. Even if it does, we'll be on right after the game. One of the things we got to look at now, as you well know, is the East. What's happening there? Who will the Rangers play? It depends on what happens. You've already mentioned both teams in the East have won. We've got highlights, though, to show you how it was all done. It's coming up. It's right after the game. It's Rangers Live, guys.
Thank you, John. Yeah, it's going to be, we thought we were done with scoreboard watching now that the Rangers have wrapped things up. But obviously everybody wants to know, where are you going?
It's kind of a nightmare for Chris Lingus, the Rangers traveling secretary. It might come down to Sunday before the Rangers know where they're going, and they might be leaving to go to one of those 2 cities on Monday. So he's going to have plans for really 2 cities right till the end, possibly.
The Yankees end up at Fenway this year, so they're going to have to take on the Red Sox that final weekend. And Tampa Bay, a little easier draw, I guess. They're on the road at Kansas City.
Kansas City just smoked Minnesota again today. Minnesota's going to have to be careful. They're going to lose that home field advantage in the second round.
The Twins, I tell you, they're a banged up team right now.
Yeah.
J.J. Hardy is out. Don't know for how long. Justin Morneau, of course, has been out. They're not getting healthier at all.
Mauer's leg was bothering him. His knee was bothering him.
Francoeur down on strikes, and the Rangers down to their last out now.
Yeah, if you're talking about movement on a fastball and an off-speed pitch, Leake's got it. His fastball at 95 miles an hour drops. Rangers have seen that tonight from Hernandez, and doesn't get a whole lot easier right here from Brandon Leake so far. Last pitch was a changeup that did the same thing.
Cantu is on deck, and he's hoping for a shot to get up there as the tying man. Again, a reminder, tomorrow the 1:05 first pitch. Hope you're making plans to come on out. Call the Rangers ticket office at 972 Rangers. Never give up or shave.
Ranger fans come in all sizes and shapes.
Love that.
And one thing's starting to take shape of the antlers. All sorts of different hats being worn by people. Homemade, some of them.
On the ground towards short. And the Rangers are still alive. Josh Wilson kicks it. And Cantu will have a chance now. First error of the whole game. Cantu has yet to drive in a run in this ballpark. He'll have that opportunity right now. Didn't look like that tough of a hop.
No, I think it just either took his eye off it or just plain missed it, because it really, for a big league shortstop, is not that tough a play.
Well, it just dawned on me, Tom, neither of us have put in the call tonight.
Now's the time.
Should we double down?
Call.
Go karma here for Cantu. Want to call an Austrian person to find out how to say call in German?
I've exhausted my supply. How about Franz Klammer?
How about Franz Klammer?
He's on my speed dial.
There's another sentence you didn't think you'd say at any point during the season. How about Franz Klammer?
That was one of the greatest 2 minutes of sports you could ever imagine, that downhill race that he won. That was great.
Inside corner, 2-1. Taylor Teagarden would be next. Trying to save it for Felix Hernandez is Brandon League, and there's another chance at short. Wilson's got it this time, and that's it. Das Final tonight is Seattle 3 and the Texas Rangers 1. And the Rangers have lost for a 70th time this year. They'll have to run the table now to get to Nolan Ryan's predicted 92 in the win column. Mariners have come in and taken 2 with one more still to come in this series. 3-1 Seattle, again the final.